Good evening, everybody. My name is Nikki Adamkowitz. I am the Sassy Subber. This is a class on Canva and how to make thank you cards for Canva. As you can see by the class notes, we are recording this and we do have our closed captioning on. Please remain muted until instructed otherwise. And when you ask a question, please put it in the chat and I will have Miss Cheyenne help you navigate. She'll make sure she gets my attention for everything that you need. I will also open the floor at the end of it for any open questions, and make sure you just sit back and relax and let's get to it. I would like to introduce you guys to Canva. Canva is a very simple type of design program. To call it something, it's basically a design program that uses templates. And this is where we can get into all of that. Let's get to the home screen. Okay, so when you're looking at your home screen, what do you look at? Remember back in our Canva introduction class, we talked about where to find all of the stuff on the side, on this left-hand side, right? How to brand yourself. And that is what happens is when you bring in your logo, Canva will actually pick the colors out of your logo and create your brand colors. And as you can see, because we've been working on this stuff, I do a lot with my brand colors, okay? And this is everything that you can do and so much more. Now, when you look at these type of settings at the top, the biggest one we're going to look at right now is just writing thank you cards. So type in, first, if you typed in thank you, this is what pops up. Now, you do have the free version. You absolutely can use the free version, but you can't brand yourself with the free version. You do have to pay for the pro version in order to brand yourself. Now, if you're looking through and you have the free version, anything with this pro you can't use. You need to be the pro to use it. So this is just thank you. Well, these aren't thank you cards per se, right? All right, we're going to write thank you cards. I'm going to show you how to make a thank you card using the non-pro version. All right, I know I can use, as you guys have seen me before, or if you've gotten any of my tribe packs, I've made a thank you card similar to the one that's right here. I'm going to use the non-pro version, right? Why? Because a lot of you are going to use this for free. You're going to try to, design it however we can. So let's pick this up. Again, I'm going to do the non-free version of this particular type of card, call it something, right? Okay, so this is the template. It kind of just shows you what to use. It's kind of there. We're going to take this. Beautiful part about Canva is somebody has already done a lot of the thought process for you. We're going to go in and maybe I want a different font. Okay, you're going to go in and you're going to have a series of fonts. Now, again, if there's a crown next to it, that's the pro version. But this is what it is right now. We're going to see about, I don't know. I like that one. That's more me. Okay, so we're going to use that. Maybe I don't want this watercolor background. Okay, that's just not my jam. We're just going to literally highlight it and I'm going to delete it out. I don't need it. I don't want it. And we're going to edit this whole thing. So over to the side, you have these things. There's the templates. Elements, uploads, so you can upload elements to Canva. Text, styles. Now, the styles are just different color schemes that you can use. As you can see, I have my brand kit logo up here, and I very much could have used that. But again, if we're using the free version, I'm going to stay away from using my brand kit colors. You can add audio if it's for Facebook. They have copyrighted free or public domain music. You can add videos if you want, or even make a video, right? You could do that. We're not going to do that because these are thank you cards. You're just going to print with your everyday printer. So first things first, I would like to go to the elements feature. Now, this is a Halloween card, right? Because these cards are going to be shipped out with my September tribe packs that they'll get in October. So I'm going to just type in Halloween. Let's see what pops up. I can make these thank you cards as fun as I want, as simple as I want, or as complex as I want. Now, I like to add just a little bit of features. I just click and drag that if I wanted it. If you double click on it, let me zoom this out just a little bit here. If you double click on the image, you can change how big your image is. If it's going to let me, please and thank you. All right. Oh, come on. Go smaller, would you please? It just does not want to let me go smaller. I'm not going to use that one because it won't let me go smaller. Detach back. Okay, thank you. It was attached, that's why. Sometimes if it gets attached, go to your 3 little dots and see what's going on. It might tell you. So I'm going to do that. Well, because that's black on black, I want to change that color to orange, right? Now, as you can see, this thank you, I added this element, and then we're going to build it. I added my element, but my wording is behind it. So I'm going to click on my thank you. If you go over here to the position, you can move it forward. Now it's in front of what I need. If you want an outline on this, you can add an outline. You can add effects to it. So we're going to click on this again, the wording. We're going to go to effects. Now with the effects, we can have certain things with our letters. You can have it have a shadow. Not a fan of that one for this particular thing, but you can play with the different thicknesses of your shadow. I could change this to a black. That's looking a little bit better for what I would like it for, right? I'm kind of liking it. Sometimes you just maybe want something kind of simple. You can change the direction into which you want your thank you, and I might go with that. So we're just going to let it sit there, let it ferment, because as we build this, sometimes we need to just let it sit there and go, I like that, or no, I don't like that. So we can add different elements into, as you can see, there's pro elements. We're not going to add pro elements. I don't even know what that is. Okay, oh, I like that one better. Let's click that one out. So we're going to click this one down. I like the solid one. I can even fade it out if I want it to kind of go away. Let's say I want that to go away. I don't want it necessarily to be as bold as it is. So what I'm going to do is go up here to our transparency tool. The transparency tool is just like every other element that we've used in all of our design stuff. And maybe I just kind of want it to fade into the background. So I want my thank you to stand out a little bit more than the spider web. I still want to build on this. Maybe I want to have my spider in here, right? He's kind of cute. We want a spider. I don't necessarily need him on the spider web, but again, wherever you want to put him, we are building things. So I am going to zoom in just a little bit just to make it easier for me to see. You could change this wording. Thank you for your purchase. Thank you for shopping small. Happy Halloween. Whatever you want to put in that space is completely up to you. You could also just delete it out. So for right now, your girl's deleting it out. Now I have this line right here. I'm going to do that. That's a separation line. I want my separation line to be taken away because again, it's what I need to have happen. Is there any questions? Some elements are color changeable. Yes, they are. Cheyenne, you can unmute yourself to answer those questions.
If the element is color changeable, you will see a box up at the top. I think where it says animate or whatever, where you have up there. Yes. And it'll have like the color that it's currently in, and you just click it and then you can change it to, yep.
See, so there you go. Stay unmuted, Cheyenne, because those little tidbits are really good. Okay. So as she just said, if this box shows up, then that means you can change the color of it. Some things you can't change the color, but there are some things you absolutely can. For this, I kind of want him black. Maybe I even want him just a light gray, right? I didn't have to fade him. I just made him a light gray. So now we're getting some Halloween vibes here. Do I have to make this black in the background? No. And do you know why? I don't want to use a lot of my black ink. So I'm going to keep this as simple as I can with the colors. Now, again, I take out all the wording because, again, I'm going to set up my wording how I want it to say. And what are the things that I want it to say? Well, your thank you card is an expression of you. You want to thank them for something. You want to let them know that you have social medias, some of your social medias, or contact information, which is going to go on one side. For me, I am going to take it and I am going to do my recipe card, and I'm going to show you that in a second. So for right now, I want to take out all the wording that I have because I don't need it. Templates, that there are some things in a template that have to stay because that's the template. They don't allow you to change the color of it. They don't even let you change the position of it. It just depends on what you're working on, right? And I will try to show you one that I can't change the color on, even in the pro version. All right, so right now, this is what we have. I am going to go over and grab my recipe that I have. Whoops, wrong page. Okay. So for right now, I'm going to just move this line up because I don't know exactly where I'm going to want to put it. I'm just going to copy and paste. That looks like a hot mess right now, but don't worry. It's because I have it in the form of what I want. Okay. So what did I just do? I just brought in my recipe so that everybody will have what I need for this recipe. It is called Halloween Harvest Hash. Now, you're saying, Nick, I can't see it. You're right. I know you can't, but we're getting there. So how do you fix that? Sometimes when you shrink things in, it elongates your recipe. Again, you always have options to change the size of different things in your space. So for example, I want to change the title. I want to make it a little bit bigger, a little bit bold. I want to add the bold to it. Come on. It's going to be difficult today. I'm running too much stuff on my computer. All right. So maybe I want to make that font because I want it to stand out, right? So we have our harvest. If you hold down your shift key, this is what happens if you hold down your shift key. Sometimes it will go like this, but if I hold down my shift key on an object, it kind of crops it. So we don't want to crop it. So if that happens to you, just know that that's one element that you can't just shrink down with your shift key. In this case, for wording, you absolutely can move it so that it moves proportionately. Okay. Now, again, you can shrink things together however you want it to fit the space. I am going to change the font on this just because this font is very light for me. It's going to be hard to read. I really want people to read the recipe and hopefully be able to make the recipe. So that is something that I'm doing for this fall is on my thank you cards. I'm adding a very simple recipe to all of my thank you cards, kind of like a gift from home, so to speak. Okay. Not everybody has to do this. You guys are going to put whatever it is you want that suits your needs. Okay. So I might want to leave it like that. Right now, not 100% sure, but we're getting there. I might want to move my thank you over a little bit more. Again, remember, I'm not 100% sold on that font or how it's set up, but we're going to keep playing with it. I'm going to move my spider because I kind of maybe want him hanging over here. You see how I'm just kind of moving things. And the reason for it, again, I want to make this totally custom for me. You're going to make it custom for you. Okay. It could be very simple. And there we go. Now, what else can you add? Well, we talked about it. You're going to add your social medias. Let me just scoot this out of the way. He is just not wanting to move for me at the moment. One thing I will tell you is Canva can be a little touchy in that sense. I want it to move a lot faster than it's moving. Okay, so I like that setup right there. Now, what I want to do is, I believe it's called align. So I just want a very simple line and I want to turn it so it's in the middle. Okay. And I want to separate all of this. Now I wanted a thick line. I could do a thin line. I could have done the really thin line. It really just depends on what kind of a line you want. It's completely up to you at that point. Now in here, because I have my uploads already of my, let's see, logo. Now I could have totally branded myself and made it Halloween-esque, but that is my brand. That is my logo. I'm going to leave it the teal. Thankfully, orange and teal play really well off of each other. So I'm going to have that. You could put a QR code under here. So whether you have Canva or you have Corel, you can make your QR codes in either one of those spaces. You can add that to your items. For me, I might just add find more, follow me at, and add my link tree, add my .com, whatever it is that I want to add, I can add that to the bottom. Just go to your text. Now, as you can see, there's different heights of text. So I'm going to go with a little itty bitty one for the moment. And we're just going to go in and I'm going to put www.sassysubber.com.
Also, real quick, for your logo, if you do have the pro version, you can actually in your brand kit add your logo to the specific logo side. So instead of scrolling through your uploads, you would just hit brand on the side, and then it would have all your logos if you didn't want to scroll.
Yeah, I don't think I put it up there. I just because
yeah,
I
no,
right
I'm
where
just
I was. Yeah. Yeah,
it just makes it easier, especially if you have a ton of stuff in your uploads. You're not trying to like scroll through to find your logo every single time. It'll be right there, and you can put all your different logos in there.
So my logo is here. Is that what you're talking about?
So then, yeah. So go back to the one that you were just working on. And then see on the side where it says logos, see if it's right there, because that's where mine, there you go.
Got it.
So instead of you having to scroll.
Can you tell I redid my logo? I should probably bring in my new one.
Yeah, I would. It just
Thank you. I forget where that is all the time.
Scrolling.
Not a problem. See, this is why teamwork making the dream work. Cheyenne uses Canva all the time because she does a lot of repping stuff for different clothing companies and whatnot. So she uses this all the time. And when I started using it, I was like, yeah, I was on the fence about it. But then now that I use it a lot more, I am all in and I am learning. So I am definitely brand new to this. I'm not the only one, but we are going to make it happen for us. So as you can see, I went in here and I am going to take this and I want to change my font in this because I'm not a fan. I want it to be a little bit darker. I could have just hit bold on it. Absolutely. It is easy to read. You want that as well, but maybe I want to add the orange because I'm going to pick up the orange from the thank you. So I am going to go in here and why did it do that? Okay, there we go. So I want to pick up that same orange because I kind of want this whole thing to have a fall Halloween look to it. So far, we're feeling the vibe, right? So again, still not 100% sold on this font. So let's change it. Is there somebody who's asking? Oh. My fear is my work looking like someone else's using templates. Do you find this or is it easy to make them look different? Yes. So I started out with a template. And you can actually start out with a blank template or a blank canvas, I should say. You can make it your own. What the nice part is about templates is it just kind of gives you the groundwork. And then you look at it and go, you know, I don't like that. I need to move that around. I want this to look slightly different. Can we move this? And you can move a lot of the elements that are in it to make it custom to you. And that's a great question. So what I like to say again is that make it your own. At least find a template. It gives you a foundation. It gives you a starting place because sometimes we go into this going, I have no idea what to put. I don't know what it should look like. That doesn't sing to me or this doesn't sing to me. And we will go through the thank you cards just so I can show you in a little bit.
And that's the amazing thing about Canva is almost everything is editable. So you can easily make it your own. It's not like, okay, here it is. All you can do is change this one thing. You can move things. You can change colors. Like you see, she just curved it. You can add, you know, the glow or the backdrop. add elements, remove elements, make it a movie, whatever. There's so many different ways to make it more personal so that it does not look like everybody else's.
Correct. So as you can see, I have this. This is my outline. I can change the background. I can add a background to it if I want to. Do you have to add something? No, you don't have to add anything really. You can just hit none. Maybe you just want the very simple plain text. Maybe you just want to change the text and have it look. I am going to show you a couple different things that you could do with text by just copy and pasting it and having a cool text effect. So again, with the pro version versus the free version, you will see the little crown next to it. Go and find a font one. You want fonts that are going to be easily read. You don't want ones that are squished together, super curvy, super script kind of ones. You want ones that when you're going to print them on that, pretty much it's going to be an 8.5 by, I think it's 5.5 card. You can fit 2 of them. I do 2 on a 8.5 by 11 sheet. I just print them off on my regular printer. I don't print them on cardstock even. I just print them on paper. People are going to do whatever they want with them. They're going to probably end up throwing them away, but they also might cut out the recipe and keep the recipe. So I don't invest in the cardstock on these, again, because it's a throwaway item, but it's still something you should add to your packaging. You can make them smaller as well if you don't have the recipe on there like what I have. So I could go with the very generic, you know, but I want something that's kind of fun, but has maybe a spooky look to it. There are so many fonts. As you can see, as I scroll down here, there are a ton of fonts for you to play with that are Canva fonts. Can you bring in fonts? I believe you can. If I remember correctly, you can bring in a font.
You can. It's in your brand kit.
It's in your brand kit. And that's another reason why to have the pro kit or pro version, because you can bring in fonts too if you like to use certain fonts. You can download, if you have elements that you've picked up from Create a Fabrica or Design Bundles, you can bring those in as well and add them into there. They're just an element that you're going to bring in and upload, and bring in PNGs so you don't have to worry about taking out the background, which you can do in Canva.
You can also upload like video, audio, things of that sort.
Right. So again, I don't know exactly, but let's say I want spooky today. Whoops, it would help if I spelled it correctly or typed it correctly. So they have no spooky fonts. You can see if they have what they have, so you're not scrolling for days.
Try a drip font. I think they might have a drip one.
They have the Jeepers font.
There you go.
Yep. So you can, so I typed in Halloween, and these are all the ones that came up for Halloween. Believe it or not, they do have other languages in there too. So that's pretty cool. For that, I know that Beth is going to probably ask me this. I'm just going to type in Jewish because I don't know Hebrew. That's the word. Sorry. I know the word too. So, all right. So they do not have Hebrew, I don't think.
But you can upload it.
Yep, she absolutely can.
And they do have, I know for a fact they have elements.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know that they have it. I can't believe I didn't remember the name Hebrew. Anyway, so here we go. I go back to the Halloween. We're going to bring in just whatever I want at this point. Do I want something? I don't know. We're gonna go with this one. Why? It's very Halloween for me. It's not typically what I like to use, but we're going to just try to go with it. So
but
now
shameless plug, that's why you get pro.
Yep, exactly, because this is not the one I would want to use. But remember, I'm using the free versions here on Canva just so that you can see that why you use it. And Cheyenne and I do not get any kickbacks for promoting Canva. We just love it. All right, so far I'm liking it. It's still very plain Jane to me, so maybe I want to add a background to it. Again, go to your elements and just put, I'm going to put leaves because I maybe want some autumn leaves, right? Maybe I'm looking at it going, yeah, that's not it, right? So there are different things that you can look up, and you have photographs or graphics and photos. So again, maybe I want to add some leaf elements. I can literally fade them out. One of the things that you're going to want to think about is if you add a recipe like I did, be very careful at the background you use. And the reason being is you don't want to distract from this, but there is a workaround. You can always put a color block behind your wording so that that stands out while still having your background.
You can also look under photos for an element too, like for a background.
Yeah, that's what I'm under. So click this. I want to detach it from the background for the moment. I'm going to move you guys out of the way, and I'm probably going to want to change the transparency. So I want to change the transparency on this and make it so now it's more fall, right? I could do that as well if I wanted to and make this a total fall element type of thing. But you just see, and the reason I did this, because we kind of get element happy. We like to add a lot of things, and then we look at it and go, ugh, right? So right now, this doesn't match at all. But if the reason I did is look at all of the background behind that wording. All right. But let's say you loved it. You are totally in love with this. All right. We're going to go back into elements, and I'm just going to box or rectangle. That's what I want. You could type in anything, really. So now I have a rectangle. Okay. I'm going to bring it in and just kind of sit it here. I'm going to turn it because I want it to be the long way. And I'm going to use my shift key because I want it to change. Why isn't it not changing size? Come on. I hate when it doesn't want to do what I want it to do. All right, fine. We'll do it my way then. You can create a lot of fun things with this. Okay. So as you can see, it has two colors. And I'll show you how we're going to move it up and down in a second. I don't want it to have that border. So what you can do is you can see that it has the borders on here. Just go ahead and make it white. Then you don't see it. But you're like, Nikki, it's behind the wording. Yep. You're going to go to your position tool, and you're just going to go make it move backwards. And there you go. Now I have blocked out my recipe. So now it's easily seen with that fun background, because remember, I am totally in love with this. And now I have this, layered element effect. Is this something that I would personally do? No, it's not. I'm not much of a Halloween person, but I'm definitely a fall person. All right. So I'm going to go kind of radio silent for just a second. I want you just to kind of watch, if you need to hum along. And we're going to literally eliminate the things, and I'm going to make it probably how I plan on making this for my thank yous. So
real quick, Beth says possibly a foolish question, but maybe it's my eyes. You said you were slanting the line in the middle. Is there a reason why? And did you do it? Because I can't tell. Yeah.
This line. Okay, so this line, you can turn it. There's a turn button that allows for you to turn it. And it lets you know when you've hit 90 degrees. So I just turned it 90 degrees. This line right here in the middle is just a separation line. I have a really thick line here. I don't need it to be, but I can. I could even just, let's say I wanted this thin line. We're going to take that one. Whoops, sorry, wrong line. I'm going to take that line out. Maybe I only want this thin one. I'm going to just hit copy and paste, and then I'm going to turn it. So it's 90 degrees and drag it up. And put it as my separation line. So now it kind of separates all the things that you can do. So now I've added those line elements. I'm going to go in here. I really want this to be more of a fall, pretty fall. I've already started going into fall stuff for my thank yous, but fall's kind of a long season, it feels like, during right smack in the middle of what we consider our busiest season. We don't hit winter until end of December, right? So December 21st, I think it is. All right. I want to go in here. I'm going to make this exactly how I probably am going to do it. So let's just try that. If there's any questions, please ask as I'm making things. You guys are just going to kind of watch me build this I picked different fonts for different reasons. I want them to be easily read, but I also kind of want some, I want pretty. It's all it comes down to. I want pretty. And I always get stuck with the same fonts because I'm a fonts, I don't want to say I'm a font snob, but there are just certain fonts I just absolutely love the way they look. And I tend to keep going that, which again, you can add into your brand kit. If you like a certain font, like she said, maybe you're stuck. You can add a couple of them. And maybe you just want all your stuff to have the same type of font. You can do that. So now I'm going to just sit here and play. I'm going to head over to the elements. And I want to put in leaves. I want to add in some really pretty fall leaves. There's different things that you could do. Now, you don't have to necessarily have it to where it's sitting on the floor. You can actually just turn it. And whoops, let me turn it again. Let's go to Berkeley. Okay. So maybe I just want to shove this so that it kind of falls down. It's falling, it's leaves, it's fun. And maybe that's what I want. I'm going to leave it there for just a hot second because I'm not totally 100% sold on it. But again, you're going to pick what's going to be best for you. And again, I'm also going to say, please don't use black or you're going to use a lot of it. Unless you like to invest in black ink, then go for it.
Also, tip, if you're using it as a virtual card, do one where the leaves actually fall so that you catch people's attention.
Right. Let me get to that. I'll show you. Let me, I wish they had a thing, Cheyenne. You know what? Add a page. Watch this. If you add a page and you liked an element, just drag it down to the bottom. Make it.
I do that all.
Yeah. Make it.
You can move and you guys can move them either the way that she's dragging them, or there's also this little square down here where you see the zoom bar at the bottom right. See that square? You can click on it and switch between your stuff that way too.
Yep. So it's just a great place to kind of tuck things when you're moving things around because you don't want to go hunting for it again. All right. So we're going to go to videos and you can, oh geez, where do I want to find one? Where's the animated graphics one? It's in graphics. Hold on. Oh, but you know what? That's a part of the pro version.
Oh, true. My bad.
But see, here's an example though, just so you can see it. Whoops.
you can also
hold on.
Little settings. You should be. Ooh, yep. See, you can also narrow down to look for just the animated graphics if you wanted.
Right. You see how that one, and so and if you look over to the side, I picked that one, and look, it will show you different ones that are moving. Again, just look for them. And if you want to use these on your Facebook, any of that kind of stuff, you absolutely can. It catches the eye. We're going to get more into these animated ones when it comes to our next Canva series. You can save this though as a JPEG. Just keep in mind your elements will be standing still. I know it sounds crazy, but I have to explain that. All right, so yes, you can use these for your social medias to add some interest. You can have a lot of things going on in there, but for right now, we're just going to take them out and go back to the leaves part, fall leaves, and oh, I like that. So if this happens where it kind of just goes into the background, double click, and then I just hit detach from background. And I might want to scale this down just, whoops. Oh,
Erin says it's very pretty.
It is very pretty. So I could use this one, but again, you see how it's taking up all of that space for me? I don't want it to do that, but maybe we want to make something like it. All right, so how do you make something like it? Again, go to the elements, and we want a rectangle that we're going to put in here. Oh, it's even got the shadow. Okay, I'm going to put the rectangle right there. I'm going to have this float to the back. Okay, although it's a shadow right there, we're going to go find the leaves because we're going to make it fun. Again, using the free version. This is all the free stuff. We're going to add the leaves, like I said, up to the top or to the bottom. So I'm just going to set it here, and you're just going to keep layering it. Turn it. And what I mean by turning it and whatnot, I'm going to show you how this gets put towards the back. Just keep hitting it towards the back. And now you can see I'm starting to have the same thing that I was just kind of looking for. Now you're going, Nikki, that's a lot of work. You're right, it is. But you can also type in fall leaf border. Okay. Think of keywords that you can use in order to do this. So we're going to put, whoops, this guy maybe right here. And then I'm going to copy and paste it. And I'm going to turn around. And maybe I want to tuck it in under here, position it to the back.
And if you don't want to turn, you can also just flip horizontal, vertical, and stuff as well.
Yep. And I'll show them where that is in a second.
Just because sometimes it's easier than trying to spin it.
Yep. So because this is still of, because I have that white box there, right? So I want this, whoops, wrong one. I hit the wrong one. Okay. There. Okay, so maybe I want to bring it forward. Maybe I went back too far, right? You can bring it forward and back, and now you have it there. Again, you're going to sit here, you're going to play with the whole thing and make it pretty. Now, what she's talking about is, I don't know where my element go. Anyway, I don't know where it went. Okay, what she's talking about with flipping things around, there's a flip tool up here. Okay, I'm just used to using the little roundy round tool, but you can flip it without actually having to do the roundy round tool. You can crop it and do all of the fun things you want, right? So I just gotta figure out where my logo went. I don't know where it went.
Did it go to the back?
No, it shouldn't have. This isn't.
Did you accidentally delete them?
I probably did.
Dang, girl.
Listen, it is what it is. I'll just bring it back in. I had uploaded it. It's already in here. So we're just going to bring her back in.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Exactly. Okay, so there's that. So again, you can sit here and decide how you're going to make your image. I do like this kind of block behind there. You can actually have it to where it's kind of a half a page of a block too. You don't have to have it a full page when it comes to your elements. It's just really what you want. As you can see on the side, I typed in fall leaf border. There's a lot here that's even in the free version. Use what you can. I could again have animated stuff. There we go. That's what I want.
Oh, she pretty.
She is. And now I'm going to take that. And there's that flip tool. Now I also, whoops, I want to do it both because I don't want it to necessarily. Do you see this up here? I can go and change the colors on this. This is one of those elements. I could go in and change the color of the leaves. Right. So,
and you'll see the yellow, the orange, and the red. If you click the yellow and she changes it for some reason, she changes it to purple, it'll only change on that element, the yellow one.
Right. So it changes all the yellow ones to that one. Maybe I want to change. Right. I'm going for all brand colors on this one. There's Nikki's fall brand colors. Not even funny, but all right, you absolutely can do that. Now go click back. It will show you the same colors that you had before. Obviously, you have to remember which three you were, but there you go.
Or you could just hit the back button.
You could do that too. Let's see. So now it's under here. I want it underneath that because I don't want it to, I might even leave it. We're going to switch this down just a little bit. Nothing too crazy, right? Okay. I'm okay that it's tucking behind that wording. It's not actually within the recipe itself. So I don't have to worry about that. Now we're going to take this because I want to add a little bit of a dimension to it. Now, yes, you can go in and you could do effects with the wording. I'm going to create my own effect, right? So I'm going to copy and paste it. I'm going to move this ever so. I'm going to just move it down here for right now. I want to make this a different color. Maybe I want to make it into a shadow. I want to offset it. You can absolutely do that. I'm going to go in and I love that orange, but let's say I want a different orange, right? So you could go in, if you know the colors, you can put them in there, and that's the hex code colors. You can just
color pick too. So right. If you wanted it to match those leaves, show them how to color pick real quick.
So yep, so you go in here in the plus sign and you pick your little color pick tool. You can go in and pick whatever color you want that's going to match, right? And now this matches one of the leaves. This guy, he might not match any of the leaves. Maybe I want him to be the yellow, but I already know what that is up there. I might want to fade him out too, because I want it to be a shadow, but it's still within the same color palette. Now, this is a lot for the eyes, but I'm going to use my little arrow key. I probably would not use yellow. As you guys know, it's not one of my favorite colors. So you can use it as a shadow. You're going to look at it and go, I'm not really sure if I like that. Again, you can go in and you can change these whatever color you want and make your own look. Because that is faded, that is, I changed the transparency on this one. It does have a nice shadow to it. Maybe I want to, when I click on it, move your arrows keys right and left. Whoops. I don't know what I just did. Hold on. There we go. I hate when I do something and all of a sudden it doesn't move, right? So maybe you just want to slide it over. Maybe you want that really dark transparent, so it's not transparent. You want the nice dark rich colors. Whatever it may be is completely up to you, but I kind of like the shadow look for me. So now I've made my own border. That was something that probably was in the pro version. I looked at it and said, I really like that. How can I make it my own? Again, you can go in and put a background in here. I wouldn't, again, for printing purposes. You can change your line color. So right now my line color is black. Maybe I want it to be in the same color palette as everything else. Maybe I even want to change my wording, even though it is in black right now. Maybe I still want the wording to be in there. That's a little harsh on the eyes. So when you're playing with wording, make sure you realize how someone's going to read it. You don't know how their eyes are. Red is very harsh on the eyes. Sometimes pastels can be very harsh on the eyes. So for me, I tend to leave my wording when it comes to like my recipes, keep it simple, right? We want to kiss, keep it simple, stupid. Or in my case, keep it simple, silly. So there you go. That's a very simple thank you card that you can make. Again, if I wanted to have those elements, I had kind of like a pegboard, if you will. If you don't want it and you didn't want any of those elements, just hit delete. You're going to go over to your share, and this is where you have options. Now, they can print them for you, so you can have them print your design, which is really cool. You can, when you go to hit copy link, you can share it to people, but you're going to go into downloads. You can have them remove the background for you. So now you've created your own PNG. You can go in and make it a JPEG, a PDF file. Guess what? You can make SVGs in here. That is right. You absolutely can. But you have to have the pro version, as you can see by the crown next to it. And you can make a GIF. Yep. I'm going to make myself into a GIF. Why not? All right. And I'll show you guys how to do that in another Canva tutorial. So far, so good? I hope so. We're going to go back to our home page, if you will. I'm going to leave that there. You're like, Nikki, you didn't save it. And while I didn't save it to my computer, what I did was I pretty much saved it to my workspace. And it's right here when I go to click on it, right? It's right there. Eventually, it will change to what I was working on when I go to something different. These are just the different things that I have worked on over time, and it saves them for me, and the list just keeps going. Now, we talked about thank you cards. Whoops. So if you write in thank you cards, you will see there are already a lot of ready-made templates. that you can use for whatever purpose. A lot of them you can change, and a lot of them you cannot change. So I can tell you on this one, there's a lot of those elements you can't change necessarily the color on, right? And that's what you're looking for. You want to brand yourself out. This one, you probably can brand yourself out on that one just by the look of the colors. A lot of the watercolor stuff kind of stays where it is. Again, you don't always get to change your colors on things, but I'm going to go to one that is really busy. Okay. We're going to see if I go into, now this is for the pro version people. We're going to go into my styles, and I already have my brand kit logo up here. These are all the colors from my brand. We're going to see exactly what gets changed because I want to make it more, well, me. Wow. So it looks like a lot of it's going to change in there, except if you notice, order didn't change. Well, let's go find out why it didn't, because it has the effects on it. So they did an effect on it, which means you probably want to go in and either change it to your brand color if you can, and play around with it, because clearly they want it to be bold. They left it yellow. So we're going to leave it the teal for right now. Maybe I want to go in and change this one. Again, this was an effect color. They made it a dark color, so I'm going to maybe make it the blue. And we could just leave that guy alone. You want to go in here? See all the colors that this particular flower is? It's got a bunch of different colors, but maybe I don't like the way they did the colors. So we're just going to go in, and where it's white, I might want it black. I want to see what's going to change as I change things. All right, move that back to white. Maybe I want this guy, right? So, whoops, next one over. So I want him to be white. Well, what? Okay, so that's what he's going to be. Maybe I want him black. I want him a little more defined. I love the fact that I can start changing different pieces of the element to make it very much my own. Yes, somebody did all of the work and laid it out, but the beautiful part is I can move these elements to make it my own. I can resize things and change the wording. Again, this is what I like. Now, if you click on this, sometimes you will see other related things. So you have flowers, and you might want line art. You can put in line art or line flowers or outlines. Think of just some key terms that you can use when you're doing it. Again, pro version ones. This is what a pro version one looks like with a video behind it. For social media, of course. All right, let's take this guy out. And we're going to slip this guy. Come on. Why will it not do this for me? I don't know. It's being a goofball all the way to the back. So I could have this overlaying all of the stuff on top of that background if I wanted to. And you can hit play on this and it will play. So now I have some cool elements going on in the background and some very stationary elements too, as well. So your thank you cards, any of this stuff that you make for social media, think about where you're going to put this. So your thank you cards are something that goes in with your product. But if you're going to have something like this where it has a video behind it, that's more of a social media related type of item. Yes, you want stuff that's going to catch people's eye. Movement catches the eye. People tend to stop over a stagnant looking item. Also, color. Your brand. You guys know when I post something, oh, Nikki's posted something, and you see my brand colors. Brand yourself. Let people know and let your colors speak for who you are without slapping them in the face with, like, example, hey, I'm the sassy subber, right? We don't need to always slap people in the face with who I am. You just know, well, because there's my colors. And you go, oh, that must be Nikki, right? And it just is kind of a brand recognition. If you look at all the big box stores, they do the same thing. They have their own brand colors. And guess what? Walmart's one of those ones that changes out their brand colors frequently. I want to say it's every few years they change their greeter vests, they change the color of their building, because again, they want people to remember who they are. So they always give themselves a fresh look. You could do the same thing with your logos and your thank you cards. Change up those thank you cards. Don't go printing off, thousands of them. Print them right at home. It makes things a lot easier when you print them at home. Then you're only printing what you need and you're not wasting the product as well. So there is that. I took out the background for that because, again, maybe I didn't want to use a lot of ink, but it still does a lot of the presentation. I know that there are designs in here that I might want to just go in and change. Now, before you delete the background, go in and find out where those elements are so you can find them. It makes life just so much easier. I just happen to know where they're sitting. And now I have all these fun little details, and that honestly just screams me. Okay, so there you go. Do we have any questions so far? We are at the 9:30 time spot right now.
No questions, but Bev says sunflowers.
Yes, ma'am. Believe it or not, you can do that. So let's say, just type in sunflowers, Beverly. And look, now you have your colors. And now you have the different things that you want. Can you bring in the elements of your sunflowers that you have and your brand? Absolutely. Beverly's mind just went, oh, I can hear it from here. So again, these are just different things that you can use for you. Maybe you're retro, right? Maybe that's your thing. There you go. Just type in retro. Maybe you want to just type in the color purple. Here's all the things that are purple that you can turn into a thank you card, that you could turn into a business card or a bookmarker, whatever. There's so many things. A flyer. You guys are going to learn about flyers, and you're going to learn about product catalogs in an upcoming Canva class as well. But these are just different things. Can you go in and change them? If you typed in the color purple and you're like, but I want that for me. Well, and maybe those aren't your colors. Click on it. What's it going to hurt if you click on it? Absolutely nothing. What this is going to do is see if you can change it to your brand color. First of all, as you can see, the only thing that changes on here for my brand color are the stars. Okay, so go in and see if you can edit images in there. Okay, so I'm going to move that just kind of out of my way for the moment, because I want to see what elements can be changed. Now, it says edit image. Those are the different things that they used, but I don't think I can edit the image on this one. Detach from background. See, it was an image that they used. Now, you can go in and maybe change the different photogenic type of stuff with it. But for the most part, there's not much you're going to be able to do when somebody uploads a photo to this and uses it as a background. Okay.
But guess what? Now you have the idea, and you could always look up in your elements or your photos.
Correct.
Blue cloud.
Yep. They also have mock-ups in here too, as well, that you can use. Love me a good mock-up.
Yeah, they have cups, t-shirts. You can even do like a website mock-up where it looks like the computer, and you can have like a picture of your site on it.
Yep. And we'll get to that in just a second. So again, these are just some of the things that you can do to, if you like something, because not everything can be changed. So if you like it, you're like, yeah, it's not mine, but I could bring in cloud elements. Maybe I like those cloud elements and I liked how it looked. Now you can reinvent the wheel and make something for yourself by using a blank template. Now, or a blank canvas. How to find those blank canvas? For me, I go to templates and I will go in, and sometimes things are already resized for you. Maybe you want it for your stories, your Facebook posts. Let's say you want to do a card, right? Because we're on cards. See right here, create a blank canvas, and you can create one yourself. You can, what we were just going to do, I forget, crap. It'll come to me in a hot second. So again, go to your thank you cards, type in different things that you like. You can, oh, mock-ups, that's what it was. There you go. You can make it look like your phone. You can, and this is just, I just typed in mock-ups, right? We're going to learn more about this when we do our product category, our catalog, and you'll be able to find that as well. So we'll definitely have that.
There's also mock-ups in your elements. So if you
Yes.
did your whole like thank you card and you want to show maybe an upcoming sneak of like, hey, this mug is coming, you can search in your elements mug mock-up, put it on there, put whatever you plan on putting it on there, and do like a sneak peek postcard type thing.
And the nice part is with the Pro, they give you the PNG version, or with the free version, you can find different ones. They're very limited in the free version, though. I will tell you that right now. So for the Pro version, there you go. There's a mug mock-up. Have at it. Put your thing on there. Change your opacity on this, and now you have a mug mock-up. Very, very simple, very, very easily right in Canva. And you didn't have to go and buy it. You can just make it. You can type in, I always want to put mock-up as 2 words and 1 word, and it just depends on what it is. And the reason I search for it in 2 different ways, because people will literally list them 2 different ways. So
yeah, it goes by how they name it and how they hashtag it and stuff. So don't be afraid to try wording things different or whatever.
I mean, look at this. I'm going to bring just some stuff in. Look, they already have a shirt mock-up. Somebody already went in and made a shirt mock-up. You can just search your mock-ups when you're doing it, and maybe again 50% off sale, and you might want to have like this right down here, thank you for your order, and that's a picture of what's going on, and it might just say 50% off sale on the shirt, right? You can have it say whatever you want. It doesn't actually have to be an image of something you created or you purchased or whatever. It could just say 50% off sale right there.
And sometimes you can even narrow down the mock-up, like since we're in fall, you can try searching fall mock-up or whatever, because some people will make mock-ups, where it's more like fall oriented or Christmas or however they want to do it.
I love the Christmas ones, I'm not gonna lie. Definitely. I mean, again, I'm just gonna delete these because I don't need any of that right now.
Oh, I've used that one and it's super cute.
Yeah, I have to. So again, these are things that you can find and you can use that work for you and your business. Let it work for you. Let it do what it needs to do, and just keep right on going.
Beverly, when you search mock-up, like if she just pulled that, you can't change the color of that shirt because it is just a photo. However, some of the mock-ups do come in colored shirts. Like there's red, and I know I've seen like black and stuff.
Right. So I can't go in and edit that image. Well, I can to a point. See, if I change the hue and saturation, that's what I'm changing in there. I can't exactly go in and change the shirt per se.
I think there may be a shirt shape, but I can't remember.
Yeah, let me
but then again, it's just gonna be a shape, not
no, there's this one right here. And you can edit the image, but again, with editing the image, you have to know all of this stuff right here. And that can
be another thing that you can do is if you take your own blank mock-ups, you can upload them and do them that way.
Correct. Yes, you can. So again, fall mock-ups, you can have different stuff that you want. And I'll put fall t-shirt mock-up. I know this was about thank you cards, but I did say that I would also be doing other things as well.
It's all part of the series. It's okay.
Yep, it absolutely is. So yep, you can do that. So again, when you're searching for thank you cards or whatever it is that you're searching for here in Canva, start out with something. Start out with thank you cards, and maybe you want to type the word fall at the end. See what somebody's already come up with, and then make it your own. And again, this is just a guide. This just allows you to do what you need to do. Sometimes mindless is the best policy, especially that we are now in the thick of our busy season. Well, I should say the beginning of our busy season. We can't always sit and devote 25, 30 minutes to something like this. Right now in my world, I can't. I don't have the time in my day to even breathe or eat lunch, let alone sit and spend 25 minutes on making a very simple thank you card. Sometimes I just go in and go, you know what, that's really pretty. I like that. That's what we're going to use. And you could say, even have it go as far as saying business thank you card. Now it's going to have spots for more details like this stuff right here. Okay, great. Somebody thought for me. And sometimes you need an office assistant, and let Canva be your office assistant for you. There's so much.
She's a workhorse.
Yes, and you can save all your stuff. I was looking in here. If you notice, even right here in the templates, Facebook post, Instagram story, Facebook cover, there are templates for that. You can even write Amazon if you're an Amazon seller, right? Whoops. Right, it has Amazon seller stuff in here for descriptions. Somebody's probably got Etsy. Yep, your Etsy stuff. Trying to think of all the stuff of where people have all of their good, was it Shopify? So they don't have anything for Shopify just yet, but again, you never know what you're going to find. Let your fingers be your guide. When you sit down at night after putting in a hard day's work of doing all the stuff that you need to do, take the time to go into Canva. It's well worth the money. She has already paid for herself for me, and I am very blessed. Why? Because I let my daughter and my son use it. They are on my team. You can create teams with people too. And so they're all in my team, and I do collab stuff with Cheyenne. So you can collab with people and they could go in and help you tweak things. So that's also nice about Canva as well. I believe the collab though is for the pro. I'm not really sure though. I think you could.
Yes, it is only for the pro.
So again, I can share things with Cheyenne. She could go in, tweak it, and say, Nick, what do you think? And ship it back to me without having to do the download, upload, download thing. We just can meet each other in the middle, and she can help me figure it out, especially when I get stuck. There is a girl on TikTok. Her name is Carolyn. And I will make sure that I share it to the group. Carolyn is a great person. She's actually a designer here on Canva, and she makes a lot of templates. So she's a great place and a great source for learning how to navigate through Canva. So if you're a TikTok person, find Carolyn and type in Canva, and you should find her. She's brown hair, brown eyes, really pretty girl to look at. So definitely check her out. And she offers a lot of fun tips and tricks for Canva, even things that I didn't know. Again, I'm still learning just like you guys, but this has been a game changer for me when it came to me learning doing my back office stuff for my business. Again, before we get into the Q&A and I stop the recording part of this, we will be stopping in about 10 o'clock. If you want to know what we're doing for the next ones, next Canva classes, the couple ones that we're going to be doing, we're going to be talking about flyers and stuff that you can have for your fall festivals, for your vendor shows, whatever it may be. We're going to be talking about how to make a flyer. And we're going to have Cheyenne joining me. We're going to do a tag teaming event on this one. And we're also going to work on a catalog, a product catalog, and we're going to make it so that it's a flip catalog, so you can flip through it and your clients can look through it. But if you look up product catalog, some people have already started to make those for you. You see how this one, let's see, this one moves. That's what I want yours to do. I want it to flip through, and you can create one just as simple and as easy as both Cheyenne and I do. So this is
real quick, because we do have a question from Debbie, and I'm sure some people want to know the answer. It says, what was the cost of the Pro? So Canva Pro, you can do either on a monthly pay scale or you can pay for a year. It is $12.99 a month, or you can pay the whole year for the $119.99.
Right, and I paid for the whole year, so I didn't have to worry about it coming out of my funds each month, and it just be one less thing coming out each month. I pay for my subscription plans a year. I know it seems like it's a lot, and I try to stagger them so it's not coming out all the same time on the same month. But I do pay for that because I do get a little bit of a discount when I do it for the year. Again,
they also have a free trial if you want to try that first.
Yep, you have the free trial, and they also, if that's for the pro, they have the free trial, but you can still do a lot of stuff on the free version. I don't want you to think that you can't. There's a lot there. Just the only things you can't do are the brand kits. I'll tell you that. And a lot of the different things that have this pro next to it just means you can't, but that doesn't mean you can't look at it and go, I like how that looks. I wonder if I can create something similar. You can do that as well.
Yes.
You just might be missing a lot of the elements. Pro version is where it's at. And I gotta say, it's where I've made my countdown for Sassy Nation Live, for the news that I do on Mondays. It's, I'm into making my own how-to videos where I'm up in the corner teaching and showing you stuff. So yes, there's lots of fun stuff you can do in Canva. And so just take the leap, just jump. It's definitely worth the money with all the stuff that we have to create for us, for our businesses, when it comes to like paper products. Is really what this comes down to. And our social medias. Sometimes it's just easy as best. So we are at the 9:50 mark. We're going to take 10 minutes to answer questions. I will stop this recording at this point. I am going to flip over. Let me just get to Zoom real quick. Where are you? There you are. We are now going to stop the recording for this. Thank you guys so much for joining me for the Canva thank you class. Hopefully you guys learned some things and you get excited about it. And I made it kind of look easy, and hopefully I explained it somewhat decent. We are going to take the 10 minutes now to have the Q&A, and then we're going to close this down and say goodnight to everyone. So let me just stop the recording at this point.